What's going on, everybody? This is Damien Jaxxyn with the Midnight Drive. Joining me today, I have Jordan, Phil, and Gabe of the band Soul. How you all doing today?
Good, man.
Man,
How you
good,
doing?
doing good.
Oh yeah, Jordan. You guys are in Florida, so how's that weather out there?
Very hot.
Oh my God.
Melting.
So
Yeah.
don't even mention it.
Uh, you
Ridiculous.
say it's hot, and you two are in hoodies right now.
Well, you got to keep.
We're inside. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. We're inside too. We got a fan and AC.
Uh,
We're set.
You live here long enough, you learn how to thug it out.
Exactly.
Get you, get you. Yeah, right now it is, as I'm looking at it, 76, but it's been raining all day, so it's probably hotter than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But glad to have you on. You found your music through Instagram, like I've been doing recently. Been trying to get away from just finding people off Spotify and honestly using social media the right way.
Right, right.
And you guys popped up, and I was just like, "This is some good stuff." So,
Appreciate that, man.
hey, no problem. Got to find people the right way, and that's through social media, apparently.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's always changing.
hmm
Yeah, that's where it's at right now for sure.
All right. Well, as it goes, I got my usual questions in my handy dandy phone, and then during the conversation, probably I'll definitely ask some stuff in between. But first question I'm going to ask is, how did you all meet?
Let these two go first, and then
All
I'll
right.
talk.
You want to take it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Um, well, I met Jordan like many moons ago. I don't even want to try and put a year number to it, but
It's over 10.
yeah, it's over
I
10.
had that realization the other
They're old. They're old, by the way. They're
Yeah.
really old.
Yeah. And so I was Jordan's martial arts teacher
Mm.
a long time ago. And like we were both obviously into music and he remembered that many years later. And he's like, "Hey man, you still play drums?" And I'm like, I do. And so like he just kind of came by one day, we started jamming and yeah, so that's kind of how Jordan and I got together with Soul, and then we met this thing.
Yeah. So when I was in college for music still, I was friends. I was actually friends with Jordan's brother. And he brought up to me one day. He was like, "Yeah, my brother's actually in a band." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Let me follow them." And so I followed them for a little while, and then one day I liked one of their posts and I commented. And then Jordan reached out and said, "Hey, we're looking for a guitar player. Like, would you be interested to come jam with us?" So I was like, I'm a music school student, so I'm burnt the fuck out. Like I've just like taken 18 billion classes in ensemble. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So let's wait till the semester's done, is around June or so, and then I go. And yeah, that's how I did. I just went. It was basically like an audition. And yeah, like instant chemistry. I
Yeah.
guess
It's very organic. The whole process was very organic.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to comment on that and say it wasn't much of an audition. He played for like 10 minutes. And I remember looking over at Jordan having a thought in my head, like when this is over and Gabe leaves, this is the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, try my best. Try my best.
That's all you can do is try your best. But you, you said you were a karate instructor, a martial arts.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I taught martial arts, like very self-defense focused, not as much of like the hi-ya.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordan was a student of mine like as a young teenager. I think like I met him at 12.
Yeah, I think.
And taught him for a couple years there, and then we lost contact like little later in his teen years, and then he went off to college, became a music engineer and all kinds of cool shit, and then hit me up, I don't know how many years later.
It was like 5 at least, 5
Yeah.
or 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally just split paths, didn't talk to each other, and then just came right back together.
Yeah.
Because like we were pretty close even back then, like
We
at the
were.
school.
Yeah.
Like
I can't wait for this like Karate Kid prequel.
comes back with the bass guitar.
Yeah. I don't know what they would call it. Is somehow Jack Black has to be in it.
Right.
It's gotta be karate
Man,
and School of
I've had-
Rock put together.
I've had people tell me I look like Jack Black sometimes, so I could be Jack
It's the
Black.
hair. It's the
It's
hair.
the hair. Yeah, exactly. I've had that before. I'll be Jack Black. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm here for it. Peaches.
Oh God. Okay.
Oh man.
So Jordan gave you two brothers?
No. So I was
No.
friends with his brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, your brother. Sorry.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. And his brother, yeah, and his brother brought up to me. It was like, oh yeah, my brother's actually in a band, and so yeah, followed them, reached out, and all that stuff.
Yeah, just word of mouth. We were looking for guitarists for quite a while. Just reaching out on different social medias, and we, tried a few guys out, and then this one just happened very organically, and it ended up working out really well. So
Yeah.
as most things do.
Oh yeah. It seems like so from what I'm understanding now, there's like a plethora of like guitarists out there. Now people are trying to find like drummers from people that I've
Yeah,
talked to.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No one's looking for bass players.
Well, apparently, like there's bass players and guitarists by like the truckload, but nobody can find a drummer. It's from what I've been told.
Yeah, I guess it really just depends on what you're looking for.
That's the issue.
Yeah, like especially when like a lot of bands they get together, they have a clear idea of the kind of music they want to make. Whereas like we kind of did too, but we were very open to whatever happens also, So like if you're looking for to make a metal band like off rip, you just limited your pool of potential drummers because all you're looking for is a metal drummer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not really looking for just a good all-around drummer that could play good metal music.
Yeah, and there's also an element with a lot of bands where like everybody in the band has their own idea of what the band is supposed to be, and so like they all try to like push for like whatever that energy is. Like I could, as a drummer, like you're saying, like it's hard to find drummers. I could, as a drummer, come into a project and really try to force my ideas, my vision, and not be as collaborative about it. Like the whole band wants to play some like fusion type thing, but I'm like, nah, no, fuck that. I'm a metalcore drummer, and so like I try and put like all these metalcore chops over their fusion playing, and it's like in that, in that like bands will fall apart. It's hard to keep the people together, but like Jordan said, I think what helps us is we are super open to whatever happens is going to happen. We kind of give each other like we definitely communicate when we think something's off, but for the most part, we give each other full creative license to write and be whoever we want musically. For whatever somebody brings. Like most of the time, Jordan brings something like an idea to the table, and then Gabe and I just kind of like figure out what sounds right over that,
like how we can fit into it.
Yeah. And so like it but in doing that, it gives like Gabe and I both have full freedom to express over what Jordan brought like completely, and so and that's what builds our sound.
Yeah, that's amazing that you have that communication with each other and able to just like free flow ideas like that because you don't hear that in a lot of like bands.
Yeah, I think that's why most of them end up failing over time too. Basically what he just described, and I don't know, it's kind of going back to your original question, like there's people out there maybe you just have to be better to work with. Like no, it's honest though, like
no, you're right.
All right, what made you want to start a band?
Out of school, man. Bro, music is dope. I mean,
music's fire.
Music is fire, bro. That's why. Well, I mean, honestly, like I've been wanting to do this forever. Since I was in high school, I wanted to join a band, and I think it's just like it's a couple things. I mean, it's like getting to share ideas with another person, like getting to craft a sound that isn't just your own, like getting to like, oh, I have this idea, oh well, I have this idea, let's try to put them together. That's something. Like just writing with other people, also just playing with other people was so much fun. Like it's cool to noodle around on your instrument in your own room with a backing track or like on top of a pre-recorded song, but nothing beats the feeling of like playing with other people, especially live, like just getting to like play with other people, have other people like listen and enjoy like what you guys are doing on stage, build a vibe around that. It's really cool.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's like a compulsion for me to make music I don't know how to describe it. I think only people who make music or like make any type of art can describe that. It's for the sake of doing it, really. And like when I look back on my life, even to where like, you know, my parents tell me stories. I'm like 3 years old, like screaming Chester Bennington, like in the backseat, you know, what made me do that? Like it wasn't a conscious decision. Like it just resonated with me on that level, and that's always been there. So it's kind of hard to. I'm doing it because I've always felt compelled to do it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that big time. Like for me, um, I my favorite pastime is literally what we're doing right now. Like I love to share ideas and you know, like have a dialogue with people, but there's words only really get to a like a certain point for me. Um, and but there's still so much to express in like on the emotional level of communication. And so like music gives an opportunity to express like kind of beyond that threshold. And there's nothing more intimate than like sharing a musical space with people that you fuck with like really heavy, and that obviously fuck with you really heavy, and you guys can share in that like almost ethereal space of creation. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's probably like where the compulsion comes in for me. It's being able to share that expression with people.
I love asking like people that question because you never know what you're gonna get, but the fact that you always hear that passion behind like why like it's because of the music, not just oh yeah, I was bored and just decided just to do this type of thing.
Yeah,
It is a thing of like I love playing music but doing stuff like this or compare yeah, I guess companionship with friends, whatever, and decided to like put it together because of the love of music. And hearing from everything that you all said, it is definitely that.
Yeah.
That's the best kind of friendship, is like something that you bond with something over people. Like, yeah, you can have friends that like, oh, let's hang out and let's, you know, let's get drunk, let's get fucking wasted. And it's like, but I'd rather have a relationship with somebody where I have a similar interest with them and I have a similar goal and I want to go somewhere and like I can share that with somebody else.
Facts.
A much deeper friendship. And like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like when it comes to like the music community, it is. I don't know if any of you are like sports fans, but it does feel like sports. It feels like you are on a team and you go out there. The stage is basically your field, and it's either you win on stage or you bomb. But no matter what, like you learn, you're with each other. But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know from a lot of bands, not every show is going to be the best, but it's like you're with your team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We end up laughing about those shows. We actually did the other day. The first show we ever played live, I was deathly sick.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah, I sing.
Yeah,
And my nose was bleeding from how raw it was.
yeah.
And I don't know why we decided to still play.
No.
But we said, fuck it. We
Bro,
were on the bill. We decided we're going to do this.
We would have lost so much aura and like cool point from backing out of that. So we were like, oh God, we got to do it still.
Yeah. So it's not a good vocal night.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. What was the first show?
It was just like a little like dive bar show that we did. Like we just opened up for the guy who records our music. The band he was in at the time was like put on this like little like bar show, and it was pretty good for our first show. I mean, if we got like
we had a lot of
40
people turn out. Yeah, like very good turnout.
Yeah, decent for our first time, but
Yeah.
just kind of like. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying like when was it?
Oh, that was
like 2 years ago. A little
August 12th of 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I don't even remember that.
There's it's very important. It's like a marriage anniversary.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
But there's a clip somewhere floating around. Maybe somebody will find it. I don't know. Of Jordan. So from that show, he said his nose was bleeding, right? And so he's up there, and like, you know, anybody who's seen us live knows Jordan is doing too much all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's got his keyboard, he's got his microphone, he's got his bass guitar, he's got the foot organ, And so he's doing all this. He's a
Bro's got a setup, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a very
Got a whole setup.
he's like a very contemporary Geddy Lee, and so he's doing all of this, and then you just see like tissues plugging his nose while he's trying to sing for people.
You got the one-man band set up. Just
for real though.
Exactly.
For real though. It's absolutely
And
insane.
that's just us two fucking around too. He's
Pretty
doing
much.
everything.
Nah, definitely not.
Feels like that sometimes. I'm just sitting back there like we're doing it.
And I'm making like crouching on stage and doing like stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still awesome. Like you guys went up there, still did the show.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
I still had a great time.
A blast.
Yeah.
Definitely. Some people didn't like us after, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, that show and dedication where it's like
It's a long game.
yeah, it's like you could have been like, I can't do it, and then just waited for another one. He's like, no, toughen it out. Like that was your Michael Jordan flu game right there.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real.
You're just like, for the rock out on the stage, uh, runny nose and bloody runny nose and all, sick. Like as soon as I get up on stage, it's
Oh, dude, I was sweating buckets. Yeah, I was like, it was full blown flu, like temperature over 100. Like, yeah.
yeah, you were like, as soon as I got off this stage, Mucinex, Robitussin, whatever medicine to make me feel better.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. How long have you been? How long have you guys been playing together, or been a band together? Has it been just 2 years, or has it been a little bit longer?
Like about 2 years. I mean, I think
Well, I think we started like all three of us were together a whole year before that too. I think we did like 2022. That's when we started writing and like rehearsing together and stuff like that. Like a couple months after that, we went to the studio and like recorded our first song and everything like that. So yeah, it's been about that year, and then the past 2 years, so about 3 years.
Yeah.
1 + 2 is 3.
Math.
Big brain.
Got that going.
All right, since you guys are in Florida, the last band I did, they were in Dallas. What part of Florida are you in?
Tampa.
Yeah,
Tampa.
Tampa region.
What is the scene like in Tampa?
It seems pretty great in Tampa. It's very heavy.
Yeah, a lot of heavier bands.
A lot of metal bands, which has been kind of difficult for us to kind of pierce into because, obviously you get a whole bill of metal bands, and then here's us who we have metal songs, but not all metal. Like, we're just kind of weird. It's oddball.
Yeah.
So you have that, and then you have like a really strong indie scene.
Yep.
A lot of indie bands, which again, it's been kind of hard to pierce, like, those audiences for that reason too, because it's the same deal. Like, it's just a bill of indie bands, which we have lighter music we could play, but then we can't play our heavy stuff without like sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
That's really what the scene is here, from what I've noticed. I mean, there's little pockets of everything everywhere, I think. But yeah, there's not very many venues in Tampa. What, you got like 4?
Yeah.
Like 4
Four
venues.
Yeah, and like significant venues, it goes down to like maybe 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's super saturated, and like when you want to go to a show, you pick a venue, like you find a flyer for that night, and like you're gonna go to one of those 4, like he's saying, and it's super saturated. Very like prominent music scene. There's a lot of bands. Like you said, a lot of metal, a lot of indie. But it's a really it's a cool community in the scene though.
Yeah.
Everybody, despite how many bands there are, it really feels like everybody, for the most part, knows everybody, or at least their friend knows everybody. You know what I mean? And so like it's a very connected music scene, and through that, what's cool is even though it's hard for us to pierce through with our sound, we've been able to make a lot of very cool relationships through these other bands, which is nice. I mean, that's a huge part of the music community and why you want to make music anyway.
Shout out to all those awesome bands that we're friends with. You know who you are. I love you.
Shout out. Are you looking to venture to like Orlando or Miami or like further north? Because I've only been to Florida for like maybe like 10 minutes because I went to the Bahamas when I was
Mm.
younger. And we went, I want to say we either flew to, or maybe flew to Orlando to get to Miami to get to the boat. So
Gotcha.
Tampa's like further south, right?
Yeah, it's like
It's like,
southwest to Orlando.
Mhm.
okay, but
Um,
because like Fort Lauderdale is like further north because it's like that weird type of thing where it's like you got northern Florida and like southern Florida.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely want to venture throughout more of Florida, but we also want to venture just kind of everywhere.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're kind of, I don't know, we're at a weird stage right now because we're finishing our album and we could be playing shows, but we're all very busy too outside of this. You know, we dedicate as much time as we can right now. Just a lot's happened, like, the personal life thing.
Yeah.
Um, so we're just kind of focused on finishing this album and then we'll play some shows here and there. But the big goal is to start like moving out of state.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably next year sometime we'll be looking to start that.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can come around my way. Like
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah, I'm in Champaign, Urbana, or if you guys go somewhere in Chicago, I'll definitely come out. Either Chicago or St. Louis. I'm 2 hours either way.
All right, sounds great. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely make a note of that.
Absolutely.
Right. What bands inspire your music process?
The music or the music process?
Good question.
I'll say both. Like what inspired you? What inspired like what bands inspired you to make music, and then which
Okay.
inspired your music process?
The music process, at least the way that we sit together and write, I would say is very like Beatles.
That's why I asked because that's what popped in my head too.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched like the Get Back documentary series that HBO put out, the Beatles and their process, that is very similar to how our process is.
Yeah.
Very, just we get in a room, we have ideas, very open about it, closed-minded about it sometimes too, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
think
within reason. Like
Yeah.
if something like objectively sounds ridiculous, and you're like, nah, let's do something else.
Exactly. Yeah, there's got to be some parameters to what's happening, but like
Exactly.
the feeling of throwing out the idea should always be open.
Yeah.
Hey, you telling me nobody's going to just start barking in the room and then make hey bulldog?
We gotta too. That's like an acceptable. We like try, and then I had the idea. I was like, "Yo, what if this megaphone that we have in the studio started like barking like a dog behind that?" So we did actually
did
do
it.
that for a song.
So we have Bart videos.
So, yes, that's it.
Actually, there's an Instagram reel on our Instagram
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Of like the moment that like he picked up the megaphone and started barking, and then like obviously we put the track when it was finished over that, so you could see like how
Yeah,
that
exactly.
came about.
Yeah.
So you were breaking up a little bit when you were telling it, but I got a bit like bits and pieces of it. If you want to say it again.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that there's a song where we actually do like there's recorded audio of me picking up a megaphone and barking into the like microphone with the microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what that. Yeah.
So we have Bart in the studio.
So that yeah.
That's
Exactly.
As far as the band, I think we have similar influences and slightly different ones. I'm pretty sure we all agree on like Tool and Rush being
Tool
some
and
of the
Rush.
big ones.
Tool and Rush are the big names.
Me personally, Pink Floyd is huge for me. Beatles is huge. But I also do like some like 2000s metalcore bands like Devil Wears Prada is like a very big influence of mine. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch. Primus. Like I could just sit in there. That's the thing about like making music, and especially with these guys, is like we all like all kinds of music.
Yeah.
So like when we're in a moment when it's like, oh, this would sound really cool here, and we're pulling it from like this. I'm trying to think of a good example, like off rip, like just these different influences amalgamating into something different and like unique on its own.
Yeah, like it's tough to. It is very tough to like think
Yeah.
of like those bands like on the spot. But for me, I would say like obviously like you said, Tool and Rush, mind blowing, love them. Those are on Mount Rushmore for sure. But like it's not even so much bands that have inspired me, but it's like studying drummers that has inspired me. And so he actually has a he put a video out on Instagram of me answering that question more like abbreviated. But like the big ones, Danny Carey from Tool, John Bonham from Led Zeppelin, Benny Greb, for like he's not known for being in a band per se. He's in his own band, I suppose, um, but like that's like the groove master, and so I study him a lot. Dave Weckl is a jazz drummer. Study him a lot. Dennis Chambers, study him a lot. Tony Royster Jr., shout out. Everybody knows that little 11-year-old that just blew everybody away. And yeah, you know, just a bunch of those like drummers that have really inspired me and wanted me to like push myself to like in my mind never really touch where they are, but to aspire to, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as me, I mean, so I grew up with like Muse. Muse is one of my favorite bands growing up. I take a lot of influence um not only from the guitar playing, Matt Bellamy, of course, like his riffs and everything like that, but even just like my ear for like melodic things and like other ideas for the songs. Like it's like almost like classically influenced sometimes. That's a big one. For this band specifically, Porcupine Tree is another really big influence for me. And then for a lot of our, I guess, kind of our heavier songs, Tool, of course, like riff wise. Also, like Lamb of God is a really big influence for me in terms of like heavier stuff. And then for like lead guitar stuff, one of my favorite bands is Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sinister Gate's the man. I take a ton of influence from like his lead playing and that kind of stuff. Big influence from Dream Theater 2, John Petrucci's the man. Buckethead, I know he's not really, he was in Guns N' Roses for a little bit, but whatever. He's a solo artist. Buckethead is a huge, just like the way that he thinks about like making sounds with the guitar. It's not even like you wouldn't even think it's a guitar. It's like that idea.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy. And then my newest love, Guthrie Govan, is like the best guitar player of all time. I'll fight on that hill until I die. He is legitimately the best. I spent $2,500 to get a signature guitar.
Oh
So
man.
yeah.
That sounds great too.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. And that
Yeah.
violin like video.
Yeah. There's a video of him playing and it sounds just like a fucking violin. He's like manipulating the volume pedal and like some effect he has. Fucking ridiculous. So anyways, but yeah.
I'm surprised. I don't think I heard Radiohead in there because especially with the Muse and uh Pink Floyd and stuff. And I thought like and especially Rush. You said Rush. I thought I'd hear like a Radiohead in there, especially with.
I would say, I mean, it's a very subtle influence from Radiohead, like kind of a more soundscape oriented stuff. Like
Yeah.
Radiohead, I know, I guess, yeah, stuff, but they're not like a direct influence on our sound, I guess.
Yeah.
And we also, I don't know, at least for me, when we're writing and like, so before I was playing music, I was studying how to record music. So I was listening to different, a bunch of different types of music and like how they got those sounds on those records. So like a lot of the times too, like I'm thinking about like it's not even so much that like we're going for like this, like how would I word this? Like I'm not trying to write this type of music. I'm trying to capture this type of sound with this type of music, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, that makes total
So
sense.
like that's like a big part of like my process with it too. Like how can I how can I take something just as an example? Like, how can you make a death metal song sound like a disco song?
Yeah.
Like as an
Yeah.
extreme example, and like I'm thinking in those ways too. Whenever we're writing, like just to make it different, you know.
It makes it way more exciting to write when you like let loose those parameters. You know what I mean? Also, like as an aside for influence, I think it's really important to take note, and this is maybe for any other musicians out there that are listening. It's not just like direct musical influences that influence the music you want to create or that you're putting out there. It's also every other form of media that you consume. And so like the kinds of things that you're reading, like I like the like when I sit down to read a book, I tend to focus on like old philosophers and things like that, or like weird texts. And then like when it comes to like other media, I'm watching movies or TV shows that are like outside the box thinking. And it's like it's that kind of media that I'm consuming also that really influences what I like how I'm feeling when I play, because so much of playing music and writing music isn't so much like this is a sound I like, but it's a feeling. Back to what I was saying earlier about communication, like it's a sound or it's a feeling that I have that I need to now translate musically. And so like all the other stuff that you're consuming is it plays a huge influence in what you write.
Yeah, it's very true. It has a very well put together like answer for everything and to wrap everything up nicely.
Yeah, leave it up to Phil to come up with big brain response. Actually, what's interconnect the internet, the world?
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's literally like perfect. Like what he
Yeah.
said, it makes a lot of sense.
No,
Yeah,
honestly, we've never talked about this, but like I've never heard you say that, but I do the same thing.
Mhm.
Like I do a lot of my inspiration comes from comedians too.
Yeah.
Like I watch a stand-up special that just like has me feeling a type of way, and then I pick up the bass and I'm like, okay, what comes as a result of me writing this feeling
Yeah.
was inspired by that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Like more recently I've been reading meditations, and like if anyone's ever picked it up, they'll know. Um, like there are some excerpts from it that you read and you're like, oh God, oh God. And have you sitting and contemplating life for a minute.
Yeah.
And so like, I'll go sit down to, behind the drum set to, practice for the day because gotta get your daily practice in, everybody. Um, and that's what I'm coming off of. And so like I'm in like this like brooding, like deep thought kind of headspace. And so I find consistently it translates into heavier feelings on the kit. And like I tend to gravitate toward like a lot of tom use, like a lot of like very like tribal, I guess is like a good way to put it, like type of sound. And so like I like when I'm reading stuff like that or consuming any media like that, it translates really directly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your mic cut off.
Did it?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So, when you're not rocking out, what are you doing in your free time? I'm guessing reading is in there.
Yeah, I work and I read, and I work in the band.
I like
work out.
working out.
Yeah, that's
I like watching dinosaur documentaries. I love dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are like my favorite thing. Besides, if I wasn't in music, I'd probably be a paleontologist. Not even gonna lie.
no. He's not even joking. He's like he knows his dinosaurs.
I like watching. I like watching that. I like watching like random YouTube videos, like on that shit. Like I don't know. It's just,
His nickname in the band is Dino Man.
Yeah.
yeah. We have a song called Shark that we're working on.
Yeah.
Called Shark Tooth Lizard, and the name Shark Tooth Lizard is the English translation of a dinosaur name called Carcharodontosaurus. Is what it means in English as Shark Tooth Lizard. So we're calling it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about them saying like they switched from saying that dinosaurs came from like reptiles and stuff to now saying that they came from birds?
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, a lot of the later dinosaurs were just like fossil evidence, literally, of like plumage and feathers and stuff like that. You think of like the raptors and dromaeosaurs and shit. They got feathers, like even just their skeletal structure too. A lot of those the raptors and stuff. Honestly, like raptors are like the best evidence that we have of like the interconnectedness of birds as opposed to more reptilian.
I see it. I I think it's just because like films, different stuff. Like it seemed like them being reptiles would be a little bit more like on the nose than like birds and stuff. I could see for like I was like for Velociraptor.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
what am I thinking? Like the what's the ones that fly? That's is that Velociraptor?
Pterosaurs,
Pterosaurs.
pterodactyl,
Jeez, I should know this being a Power Rangers fan.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
like
so
I could see those coming from birds, and then like the
Mhm.
Tyrannosaurus, different stuff. Because I know they all are based from like different animals,
Yeah.
but it's because I think my thing is them saying that like all of them came from birds, and I'd be a different thing if it was like these species, like these came from bird, or like birds, and then
I
this
see what you mean. Yeah,
cows and this, so like blah blah blah. You know,
because they got like the aquatic ones. Obviously, those aren't birds.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you got the mosasaurs, all that kind of stuff. Like so, but even though technically those aren't even dinosaurs, though, those are their like separate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
No idea.
Technically, they're not dinosaurs.
Damn.
Yeah.
This man knows his dinosaurs.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
I like the thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just
I
gonna
could be
say,
wildly wrong though. I could be completely misleading all of you. None of you would know because you're not on that type shit like I am.
The reason I'm laughing so hard is I'm glad people are going to be able to see this side of Gabe because this is a conversation that will come up regularly.
Yes.
Where he just starts going on a rant about dinosaurs, and I love it.
It's one of his most endearing qualities.
Yeah.
And from it, I like. So Gabe started like learning us some shit, all right, about some dinosaurs, and like figuring out that the Tyrannosaurus was like feathered and shit like that. I'm like, this big ass fucking chicken
Yeah.
is just hunting everything down.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I would be more convinced that they were like each thing came from someone and it was like this is a mammal, this came like this is part of the reptiles, this is part of like certain birds and stuff.
Yeah.
Saying like all encompassing dinosaurs are like birds, because then that wouldn't make any sense to me. Which I get like because they say that like dogs are derived from wolves and stuff like that, and like cats are derived from different, you know, big cats in the jungle and all that different stuff. In which that makes sense because we domesticated dogs or whatever like that. But with that, like with evolution and stuff, you gotta like find out, where all this like I said, I can see pterodactyls and all that stuff being birds because that would make sense, but not this huge, like Tyrannosaurus dinosaur. I
Yeah.
see that more with scales, not having like feathers and stuff all over them. That
Yeah.
doesn't make any
I
sense.
mean, it's true. I mean, think about it like this. I mean, a lot can change over what 65 million years. Like
Yeah.
something that looks like some one way could completely like in 65 million years. Think about what humans would look like. Like we might look completely fucking different.
Gray aliens.
Yeah, exactly. So it's evolution.
Yeah, right. Even with the evolution pattern, where it's like we were all like tadpoles and then coming out the water.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's why I'm looking at it. It's like if you went from that theory of evolution, if stuff splits off, then yeah, you could have, dinosaurs being birds, being mammals, being reptiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's about a good 10 minutes of that.
Yeah.
I know, I love it. That's so on brand for a conversation we would have.
This is
Also,
usually
fuck this new narrative about Spinosaurus. Leave my boy alone, bro. He didn't do shit to deserve this shit.
what's
People
Spinosaurus?
making up all these dumbass fucking theories about Spinosaurus. Leave him the fuck alone.
What's
Spine
that?
is
What's the Spinosaurus?
Spinosaurus. He's a guy at Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
That
like
guy.
fake, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, sorry. Put that out.
No,
Got him.
this
Next
is
question.
this is what most of these interviews are. It's just random tangents to go into things. Because
Yeah.
I'm ready to go to another one. Like I said, we not only are we going to learn about like dinosaurs, we are not going to learn about another another state. How is Florida?
How is Florida?
Hot.
Yes.
Florida, at least we're here in Tampa, it's become like California 2.0.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to like, not hard, but it's strange to see since I grew up here. Like I grew up with I literally orange groves across the street from me. Like
Yeah,
everywhere,
exactly.
orange groves everywhere.
You're that old man.
I know, and I'm not that old, but it's just what's crazy. Just fields, cow pastures, small towns. I mean, Tampa was always pretty big, but like definitely not as many people as there are now. And the vibe is it's very egocentric, I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like everyone is just kind of in their own lane, and COVID could be a result of that as well. Like I think that's kind of been across the board with people, but I don't know, Tampa, it's a lot of fun. There's always stuff to do. There's always people to meet. There's always things going on. But for me, at least, what seems like would be like explosion in like human connectivity isn't really the case.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's almost like everyone's just kind of in main character mode. And you see that on the roads with people driving. There's accidents everywhere, all day, every day.
Yeah.
People just it's crazy. I digress. That's
No, but he's 100% right. Like it you can look back even just 10 years in the Tampa area and like if you could take a snapshot like experience 10 years ago to now, it's a very different place. Like things were a lot slower. It was way less congested. There was still like, well, Florida is almost like the northern state that forgot to move up north. Like it's very it still had some of that like southern charm. And, you know, like people were more considerate. And over the last decade, it's become way less, like you said, it's become more egocentric. You know, in the sense that everybody's just so focused on themselves. Um, and like the whole influencer space, I think plays a big part of that.
No.
Everybody and their mother and their grandmother and their auntie and everybody else, they all want to be influencers. And so like it's this like energy everywhere where everybody's like on their phone, like filming little videos at like all the cafes and stuff like that. And it's just, you know, there is a little, it can be a little pretentious at times, but that's all the negative.
Oh yeah.
Because like the reality is like we're vibing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? All of our buddies are down here vibing. We have cookouts and bonfires and like we all hit up like the St. Pete area, go, you know, like go crazy, hit the Dali Museum. You know what I mean? Like it is a lot to do. It's very fun. I definitely encourage people like if you want to hit like just like a cool bar scene and like with like historic areas to go see, like going to Ybor, for example, in the Tampa area, like that's so much fun. It's all historic, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
The nightlife is fantastic. But so you know, you get your pros and cons with every city, you know.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to note on some positives, the diversity, and like I'm a big foodie. You can find any type of food here.
Fact.
Which is amazing, and not even just one place, like 5 places.
Yeah,
like that you can try.
abundance
So
of
like
food.
that is amazing. And like you were saying, just for real. There's definitely a lot of like life to it, but it feels crowded as well.
Yeah.
No, I actually, 'cause like I said, last week I had a band from Dallas, and I was asking them kind of stuff like about Austin and different places in Texas, and I definitely wanted to ask you about Florida because from I think from a lot of us, we only know Florida from like possibly the negatives or just because of Disney and stuff like that. Because there's Disney Land,
World.
Disney World. Sorry, see that's the thing I always mess up too. Disney World there.
Yeah.
But we always hear about like Florida man did this and then blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I work in the area where they filmed Cops and Live PD. for a number of years, and I deal with those people on the regular. I'm in customer service. There's Florida men everywhere.
Florida man,
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. But
Yeah,
then you drive 30 minutes north and it's not a thing, and now it's like I don't even there's pockets everywhere of like that's the weird thing about Florida too. The way it's zoned is so strange.
it's very eclectic here.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like I hear so much about like the Florida man stuff because like I forget how many years ago, but it was like a thing where it was like I think it was a guy at Wendy's threw in like a small gator in the wind in like the drive window. I believe that was Florida. But then I believe this was like last year where like Florida made like a video being like we've had enough with like all you tourists coming here and thinking that we're just just vacation spot and you can just treat us how you want type of thing. It was kind of like Florida breaking up with the rest of America, being like until you shape up, don't come here. Like it gave off that vibe. And I was just like, huh. It's crazy when Florida trying to get their shit together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now like
That's good.
like you don't hear as much coming from like Florida. Like now it's like Ohio and all these different places where like it's the Ohio man. I believe with like GTA 6, like it's based kind of like off Florida, I believe. So
Yep.
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
that's gonna
makes
be
a lot
a
of sense.
huge map.
Yeah. It'll cover all of it too, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for GTA 6.
Yeah.
Me too. When it actually comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I also believe with like Disney World, I can't remember if it was like in Disney World or Disneyland. I want to say it was Disney World, where it's like a town somewhere in like Florida where,
My brother lives there.
yeah, and they
Yeah.
apparently they wanted to like redo that and then make it to where like people can, I guess, kind of make like Disney apartments. And so
So
that way it's like easier to get to and from like it's for people to like work and then go like they can live there. It's very weird. It
there's
sounds like some slave camp type of stuff where it is like
my brother works for Disney, actually. He works at the ESPN complex there, and he lives in Champions Gate is the name of that town, and most of that is just people who work at Disney. You just hop on I-4 and get right to Celebration. And it's no, I wouldn't say it's like slaves, maybe in the dollar. Maybe that for sure. But again, it's the same vibe I was kind of describing of just like it's like a giant mall. Like
That's a
everything.
good analogy.
Yeah, it's like a giant like everything, and everything's gray there. Like, so like the whole thing like aesthetically looks similar. It's very Truman Show.
Yeah.
It's got a Truman Show vibe for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
yeah, that's crazy because you would think that Disney would want to like preserve something that's theirs, but they're just like, no, it's there. Fuck it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Like we're trying to make something new. Like so I want to say it was the Disney World location, but it might be the Disneyland location and wanted to, like move it somewhere where it was just Disney Town, like making it like modern day and stuff like that. But like I was like, how would that be sustainable? But yeah, it is a good thing that Florida is kind of getting known more for like good things, not just oh we're a tourist attraction or we are where like, older people just come to retire because that's what you hear a lot of too, which is like oh the grandparents are going to Florida and to wherever or all the Trump stuff with the Mar-a-Lago.
Sure, yeah. I definitely would say the vibe has totally shifted away from retirement state. There's so much new development happening all over Florida with so many young families taking up residence. So there's a lot of budding life happening in Florida right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because getting more livelier. Also, is it a thing to where like because I've seen this on like TV shows and stuff where like you can ride like go-karts and stuff in the street. Maybe not
do whatever you
go-karts, like
want,
the golf carts, like the golf carts
There's
and
no
stuff.
rules.
No rules.
Like a jungle, man.
What did I see the other day? Oh, what was it? It was something crazy. It's probably why my mind's blocking it out. It'll come to me.
The-
It was some dude riding something ridiculous on the
Yeah.
road.
The
It
golf
seemed
cart
like
thing is real.
the golf cart.
Yeah.
E-scooters.
Yeah.
I saw someone on an e-scooter on 75.
75?
That's a 70-mile-an-hour highway. He's riding an e-scooter, no fucks given, just chilling.
And
Yeah,
The only thing he's missing is like an alligator on his back.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, there's no I mean, the cops here are interesting too because it is very like Johnny Law a lot of the times where it's like they're kind of picking and choosing what
Yeah.
they're enforcing. So most of the time I don't see obviously someone riding on like some like fucked up like four-wheeler or something
Right, on a
their
horse.
like I don't see if they end up getting pulled over, but I do see it quite often, so that leads me to believe that no one's really doing anything about it either, you know? Like, but I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, Florida's very exciting and entertaining,
Yeah.
to say the least.
but, um, have I'm gonna guess you have, but like outside of like Tampa, like have you been to like Miami, Orlando, or different other places? Like what's your favorite?
What was the
Favorite?
favorite like city?
Yeah, like outside of Tampa, like what's been your favorite?
St. Augustine.
100%. I was just gonna say that. St. Augustine.
Yeah, St. Augustine. Do you know about St. Augustine at all? Or
I don't.
It's-
What?
it's one of the oldest cities in the country. Um, was it conquistadors that established
I think
it?
so, yeah.
It was the conquistadors that established it over there. So it's very old architecture. The town is very much like they kind of thrive on the tourists with their ghost tours because of how old it is. There's a lot of like history and stuff, but then they also have like bar hopping there too, so you can get wasted and then go on a ghost tour and see this cool architecture, and it's a very chill town. Yeah, that would probably be my favorite.
Yeah.
That's more my speed though. I don't really like the like hustle and bustle like city living vibe. Like I'll go for a night and have a good time, but like I don't want to hang out there for like a week. I could spend a month in St. Augustine, no problem.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I'm not trying to go party with Pitbull in Miami in the 305.
Nah, I'm good.
I would, but I don't want to.
I was like, hey, Pitbull, send the invite, Pitbull.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be there so he can sing the same song over and over. 1, 2, 3, 4, uno, dos, tres.
Bro!
That is every song. Every song.
Hey, that's what works. Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What was your pick, Gabe?
I don't know. Orlando's pretty gas. I mean, you got Disney. We also got Universal Studios. I love Universal.
Yeah.
Where you got the Velocicoaster at Universal Studios. So you know,
Call
they got
back.
the draft. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park River Adventure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're still there. I think they are, but for a minute, like WWE was out in Orlando. They might still be because I know they have like NXT out there.
I was never big into WWE, but I went to school out in Orlando. I lived out there for a while, and the school I went to, they had like an affiliation with WWE.
Mhm.
So that was about 5 years ago. So
Yeah.
I would imagine it hasn't changed since then.
Was it Full Sail?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think now, I don't think they're still with them, but they're still doing like something based out of Orlando because that was which was NXT because they were running it out of Full Sail and now they're just doing their own like completely different thing. So
Gotcha.
I was almost actually going to go to Full Sail a couple years ago.
Oh,
and
nice.
Decided like I just didn't have the money. I was going to go for game developing.
Oh, nice.
Because
Yeah.
I love stuff. I really wanted to get into like learn how to make video games, but it was just not in the cards.
Full Sail gets kind of a weird rap. I've like had some people, even like in the job market, like when they see that, I've had some people who were like, "Oh, fucking Full Sail," and then just like cast me aside, and then other people who, just knew it as for what it is. My takeaway, if you did decide to go, you get 100% of what you put into it when going there. Can you learn the skills that they're going to teach you? outside of Full Sail, 100%. It might take you longer, just because like they basically package all the info that you need to know for right now. Here you go for this price tag, and then you absorb it at your own rate. Whereas you could just do that outside too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you still want to get into that, like you could still teach yourself. You like, you know what I mean? You don't need to go
Yeah.
to school. Like it just might take longer,
Yeah.
but at least you have $30,000 when it's said and done.
Right.
Yeah. If I did go now, I would try to go for like music production because I want to learn how to make my own music.
Yeah.
With that,
Really?
I know with that, yeah, I probably could just get a DAW and just get a DAW and a MIDI and stuff like that, and just try to get used to it. And
Yeah.
I don't know, so probably don't need the hand holding, like you said. I'd be $30,000
Yeah.
better off.
Yeah. I mean, there's the networking aspect too, which is that's there's something to be said for that, and just, you know, the environment. But I don't know. There's this conception for me, at least when I graduated high school, that if I wanted to do this, I had to go to school for it, which out after the fact, I realized that was total bullshit.
Yeah.
If anything, I probably would have gained more by just entering the industry and learning, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it was the same for me the first time I went to college because I originally went for computers, like learning like how to do coding and all this different stuff, and never even got to that point because college is too damn expensive.
Yeah.
And I could have just learned it outside of that and would have got better at it. But instead I was like, oh, I'm gonna go spend $7,000 a semester at school and then did not have it.
Yeah.
For real though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that is our geographic segment of the week, of the interview. I don't even know what else to ask about Florida. Like,
Yeah.
we know it's hot. We know it doesn't snow there for sure.
No.
What's like the lowest temperature that it gets?
Right.
Like 32, I think, was the coldest day last year.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get cold snaps, like when the whole country like has like a cold snap, we'll like catch a little bit of that. But
it's very short-lived.
but it's also Florida, since it's like such a long state. If like you look at how it like is on the globe, whenever that happens, it's like at a certain line in the state is where you feel it. So like you could be in like Orlando and it's cold as shit, but then like you go like further south and it's not.
Yeah.
Like it's weird sometimes, like how it lies on the equator or near the equator.
That is weird because you would think being by like water, because like
That's a big thing too.
yeah, like being in Chicago, like being from Chicago, we have like the Great Lakes, and so we getting cold off the lakefront. I'm thinking because of like it's just a body of water, basically damn near around the entire like state.
Mm-hmm.
You would think like, especially like that southern part would get colder.
I think near the water it definitely does.
Yeah.
But like as you get more inland, not as much.
No.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If you're catching the wind coming off of the ocean, like if your coastline, definitely gets chillier.
Yeah. But to be honest too, kind of like what was said earlier about like you learn to thug it out. Like I'm not really paying attention to the weather that much.
Yeah.
Like it gets so volatile that it's not even worth looking at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like you just, it is what it is.
Man, just hoodie up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep rolling.
Swim it out.
All right. Yeah, that is our geographical segment of the interview. Unless I think of anything else, but that'll be it. If you could collaborate with anyone, who would it be?
That's an interesting question.
I know my answer. Whatever.
Anyone?
I would preference dead or alive with this.
Oh damn, that just so.
Oh.
I know that just made it even harder.
I'm gonna go with alive because it's more likely to happen.
Yeah.
I'll say Rick Rubin.
Hmm.
I think that would be cool. I would like to see like how he would like what he would recommend to us like in our process. Like I'd like to know what he sees that we're not seeing.
Yeah.
And like have him point that out and like kind of like manifest that.
Man, you literally just flipped my world upside down because when he asked that question, I only thought about like musicians.
Oh yeah,
And
Anyway,
and you're talking about, oh man,
Oh, yeah,
no.
I mean, that,
I'm gonna be that guy that just steals an answer because like 100% Rick Rubin.
yeah.
If it's not musicians, like if it is not like just musicians, Rick Rubin 100%. If us as a band could work with him, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like he'd throw out some stuff or just make it to where you are just like a 100% in tune and have like a banger.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
he has so much success. It's like uh which honestly I haven't heard that answer before. I've heard Pharrell and Dr.
That's a
Dre.
good answer. Yeah.
But yeah, Rick
Yeah.
Rubin, he's like right there with them.
I would say that he is like the antithesis of like what those two that you just like said, like try to emulate. Like I don't really know much about Dr. Dre's process as much as Pharrell's, but it's very similar to Rubin's.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
even like Timbaland, like I think that he's ranking that same range too.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Rick Rubin would be amazing because he has that that thing about him to where he could just like produce a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
and honestly, for me, it's obviously we could get a hit. Yeah, let's do a hit with Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
But it's not even so much about the hit. Like low key, this would not be the reality. We would put this shit out. But even if we decided whatever we do with Rick Rubin, we're not going to ever put out, and it won't see the light of day. It's for us.
Mm.
Like the process of working with somebody like him,
Yeah.
I think would unlock an understanding just as a single musician for myself.
Yeah.
Because like listening to him in his interviews and like his thought process surrounding music and production, um, I feel like he would be able to be that fly on the wall, observe everything, and like at the end of it, be like, "This is what you need to start working on. Like this is how you need to like direct your focus."
Mhm.
And hopefully, I'd imagine with confidence that he'd be able to achieve that very well.
Mhm.
For sure.
What about you?
fuck. I'm gonna go for I kind of like the producer side, but I also like him as a musician and a songwriter. I'm gonna go Steven Wilson because he does Porcupine Tree,
Mm.
but he's produced bands like Opeth.
Mhm.
He does his own solo stuff like that, and I think like especially for our kind of sound, he would have a really good ear and a really good understanding of like especially in the progressive kind of side of stuff, like the prog side, like he would have like just exquisite taste, I think, and like help us structure songs, like have an idea for kind of an ebb and flow of a song. Like, so yeah, Rick Rubin for sure, but also like I don't know, I like Steven Wilson. I love the work Steven Wilson does. He also hires fantastic musicians such as Guthrie Govan, another call. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Solid answer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're solid answers.
Yeah.
Um, what is your Mount Rushmore of rock?
Bruh.
There's 4 on Mount Rushmore.
Like for each person or like as a whole, like between
We can do individuals if you want to do individual.
it might be easier because
Yeah, let's do
there's a lot of
individuals.
fucking bands.
Fuck,
Yeah.
dude, that's hard.
Tool. They
Yeah.
Oh, so
It was gonna be all three. Yeah,
yeah.
As musicians, like I don't think anybody's worked together collaboratively as well as they have for the genre.
I'm gonna pick influences of mine that influenced other influences of mine as well, but that I might not have be like going for their thing as much.
Mhm.
I'll do Pink Floyd, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and Tool.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
solid.
that's good.
Mhm.
You just hit like the goats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all the bands that like I listen, like they all go back to them.
Well,
Like
Gabe and I, also play in a praise band at a church together.
Mm.
And at service this past Sunday, we were actually talking about how like every rock band, whether you're into them or not, must stop to recognize the massive influence that Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin have had
Yes.
over like everybody, and Pink Floyd fits in that as well. Like
Yeah.
all the like super like swampy, like heavy, just like almost ugly sounding like music that's out there. That's all Sabbath influenced. All like the weird like metal like sexy type of sound. That's all Led Zeppelin influenced.
Mhm.
All that weird trippy ethereal stuff. That's all Pink Floyd. You know, that's all Pink Floyd influenced.
Yep.
Mhm.
So since you took those, I don't want to steal another answer. So definitely Tool. That's across the board. But Rush, um, absolutely Rush. On that, you motherfucker.
All right, I'll switch it. I'll switch. I'll
No,
swap out.
no, that's your
Sorry, I
Mount.
had that.
It's cool. It's cool. Bail me out, Gabe. Who's your Mount Rushmore? While I think about this.
It's your personal list. It's whoever you think should be up
I'm
there.
just gonna go with bands I fuck with the most, and that I think like that for me personally, whether they impacted bands. So like I'm gonna say Muse. That's probably like that's like my first love. It's my first baby boy. I'm gonna go Tool second, just like the other guys, and then I'm gonna go Porcupine Tree, and then I'm gonna go. Oh man, what's the fourth pick? I don't know, Phil. I might just.
I'll get
a
it back.
pick.
Okay, so I have Tool and Rush. I would say influence like Mount Rushmore. Well, no, it's not an influence. It's Mount Rushmore. Who are the greats? So
Oh, sorry. Avenged Sevenfold. Avenged Sevenfold. I'll put that as my favorite band.
okay. I would say maybe not my like they're not on my daily listen. But they deserve a spot. Is Dream Theater.
Yeah, that would be my fifth. Okay. Sorry.
Dream Theater definitely deserves a spot.
I'm gonna tie Tool and Dream Theater. That's my. Okay. Sorry.
And then
keep interrupting this game.
And then so this one might be weird, and I'm gonna qualify it before I give the answer because he might laugh at this because there was a time not long ago that I was like, "Fuck those guys, man! I'm not interested. Like, it's whatever. They're weird, you know." But then I got to experience them live, and I was like, "Oh, time out! Like these guys are different animals." And then I dove through the discography, really like gave them a fair chance without me dismissing them right off rip. And I've come to be a stupid fan of Primus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Primus, I think, to qualify one last time because they are so outside of the box with the way that they want to approach their music. And led by Lair and Les, like it's masterful musicianship on display as like a jam band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are like they're very abstract. Like I think I gotta say most of us, but I know for me personally, like the first song I ever heard from them was Jerry Was a Race Car Driver off of the Tony Hawk 1 soundtrack that I had like the N64. I'm like, what is this song? It just and then just I'm like, what is this jazz metal rock?
Yeah.
What is this? And then it's like country in there too, because he had Wiona's Big Brown Beaver, whatever. It is like it's so because it's just so many things. It's just like it's him with like the Gary was a great driver. And it's like, why is he like kind of talking country? And then it's still just like weird, just like bass line, but then just it's like or like My Name Is Mud, where it's kind
That's
of
the one that
Yeah.
That's the one that like hooked me. I was like, oh yeah, what are they doing?
Yeah. I think like hearing Jerry Was a Race Car Driver and We Own This Big Brown Beaver, I was just like, what is this? And then I heard My Name Is Mud. I think for me too, that's the one that got me because I was just like, I didn't expect them to have this. And I've heard just like other stuff from them too. It's like this is so crazy, but I enjoy it and I don't know why I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like because like it's like these 6-minute songs, and I think it's maybe like 4 bars of actual like lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many puppies.
Too many puppies.
Yeah.
Let's make a whole song saying there's too many puppies. You know what I mean? Like,
Because, like I said, it's just this jazz, rock, metal, country, and then like kind of psychedelia in there because it's just guitar solos
Yeah,
for
for
like
sure.
3 minutes, and then it just a verse real quick, and then just going back to just heavy guitar. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
so yeah,
No,
Promise should be up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the fact South Park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say one band that didn't get thrown out there for me, and I know this is probably the same for you, that needs an honorable mention is Slipknot.
Yeah,
That one
true,
needs to
true,
be in
true.
there for me as well. First musician I ever saw perform live was Corey Taylor, like doing an acoustic set, and that changed the game for me.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
like I was like 8 probably.
dude,
Yeah.
100%. Like my first, not my first drum set, but like my first, like, oh, this is my drum set, was a Joey Jordison replica kit. I was like, I was obsessed with Joey Jordison as a kid. What like angsty teenager isn't wanting to like be Joey, you know? So Slipknot for sure deserves an honorable mention.
I think the best thing about them is just like, especially on those first two albums, like you can like the feeling in the album, like you can feel like all of the negative emotion. Like, you know, you hear metal bands, like really heavy bands that are doing blast beats and like, you know, the that stuff, like, and you're like, oh, it's cool and all. But I don't really like, you know, it's like at a certain point, I don't really feel the impact of the music.
Right.
But that cannot be said for Slipknot. Like, you feel like, I like it's like kind of scary, honestly. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Very visceral.
Yeah. Especially that second, especially Iowa.
Iowa's an animal.
Bro.
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel the same for Slipknot like I do for Korn.
Mhm.
And it's just like it is just that it's that primal thing in you.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm listening to this, like, and you just want to go run like a 5K because it's just
Right.
Yeah,
it's that
yeah.
adrenaline in you.
Yeah, you go see a Corn show, let's say you don't know who Corn is, and you hear this, you see this like odd gentleman walk out on stage, and he just
And
starts
a kilt with bagpipes.
and he just starts like scatting some like throaty like metal shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is happening?
It's not even it's like it's like rough beatboxing. It's like
yeah.
last week I played Twist by Korn. It's just
Right.
49 seconds of him just going.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm like, what is this? I'm like, fuck it, I'm playing it.
Yep.
And it was great. To go on another tangent a bit. You mentioned Black Sabbath. They're playing their last show on Baylor Forever this year, like July 7th. I saw something about it. 5th?
Yeah.
Oh, July 5th. Okay. I thought it was July 7th because I heard Lizzie Hale talking about it again, scrolling through Instagram. It's because she said she's going to be a part of it. And I'm just like, damn, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
The lineup they have of bands in support is outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's going to be a show, like the show of the.
It's gonna be the show of all time.
Yeah, for real. Like it's at least going to be the show of the decade. Like,
Yeah.
Has to be.
Call it.
It's gonna be one of the shows of all time.
One of the shows.
Yeah, one of them of all time for sure.
It's gonna be one of them because, like you said, they're like the godfathers of it.
Yeah.
I would definitely say one of because, and I wish I can go to this if I wasn't busy that weekend. The Avenged Sevenfold System of the Down show at Soldier Field in Chicago.
Oh my God.
I wish I could go because if I'll be honest, if they could throw in Rage Against the Machine or something in there, I would throw away my weekend. I'd be like, I'm going, screw whatever plans I got.
Yeah.
I'm going out there. Like it's the 30th and the 31st. I would like, yeah, screw y'all. I'm going to this show. Deuces.
Yeah, understandably so.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sometimes with certain bands, it's just you gotta seize the opportunity to see them if you can, because you don't know if you will again.
Yep.
You know, I was mad like a couple weeks ago. I didn't know Coheed and Cambria was in like Peoria here. I was just like, are you serious? Because I was just scrolling through my phone and I saw something and it was like Coheed and Cambria and blah 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 at the Peoria Civic Center. I'm just like, are you serious? They're here. They're like an hour and a half away, and it's like 8 o'clock. I'm just like, they're probably like halfway done with the show by now or something.
Damn.
They
Okay.
probably, like they probably haven't even gone on stage. And by the time I like even try to get there, like couldn't get a ticket, couldn't even get in, and and then they're like already off the stage. I was just like, man, it's crazy.
Damn.
I was
Damn.
so mad because like if I would have knew about that ahead of time, I definitely would have like went out.
It's definitely you got to know about shows early now if you want to get tickets, especially for some of them. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm dealing with that for what I'm going to in a couple weeks. I'm going to a Tyler the Creator concert,
oh,
and
nice.
that sold out as soon as he put tickets out, and I had to settle for a like section 300 ticket for like 200 something bucks because if I want to be any closer, I would have to give away my first unborn child.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they wanted like 500, like almost 600 bucks to be in the pit, just like general admission, or like somewhere up close was between seven, like yeah, seven to like $1,200.
Jesus.
And I was just,
Yo.
God.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, the prices.
I blame Ticketmaster. I will always blame Ticketmaster. I don't blame the artist. I blame the Ticketmaster. I blame
Yeah.
the Ticketmaster.
Yeah.
You know, I blame everyone. Ticketmaster for sure, but I guess that to go into that more, the only reason Ticketmaster could do that is if people were paying those prices.
Yeah.
So it's our faults too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you know
vote
what I mean?
we vote with our dollar with all corporations and
Yep.
everything. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ticketmaster just like took over everything. We're just like, oh, you want to buy some tickets? You got to get it straight through us, nobody else. Yeah, like StubHub and all that stuff, y'all can get them later when all the scalpers do that shit. But if you try to get something from us, you're gonna be paying some money.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. They've definitely become a parasite with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm also optimistic too because like I think the level of talent you can find that a Ticketmaster show offers is at a local dive bar as well. And I don't know if you're going to spend $700 for one artist, you could go see. I can't math right now. Is that 70 artists for $10 a head?
something like that. Yeah, we'll say
You
yes.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I've weirdly had to use Ticketmaster for like a show out of town, but it was like a like small event place. It was like 17 bucks for the ticket after taxes. And yeah, I saw 5 bands and it was great.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Real.
Support
Support your local artist, everybody.
Exactly.
Real.
Support local
Yo,
artists.
there's this band that I think is gonna start playing some more shows. They're called Soul. Real. I might go try and see them, Loki, and
So coming to a town near you.
That's right.
Pop out and say hi to them.
Yeah.
They're my heroes, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right, anyway.
All right. What has been your favorite place to perform, and where in the future would you like to perform?
I got an easy answer. So we played at a festival in Pennsylvania.
Mm.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was like the biggest stage we played on, the most people we've played to,
Most
the most
production.
most production, most people. Like I got off stage and I signed 4 like college, like high school football players, like boobs.
Yeah.
They just took their shirts off. Like, yeah, we want to sign our chest.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, all right.
They
Sign
fucked
the
up as
forehead.
heavy.
Yeah.
That
Those
is
were the best
hilarious.
crowd expense. Like, it's just like the feeling on stage it felt larger than life.
Mhm.
Like, it was.
It felt more comfortable too.
Yeah.
That was what was interesting
That's
for
the
me because like
ironic part.
going up to it, like because we had to travel. It was in Pennsylvania. Like
Yeah.
we took a train up there with his truck with all the gear loaded in, and Like, so like, you know, the anticipation and then not knowing what it's like playing on a stage that big. But then when I got up there, it felt more comfortable than playing at a dive bar.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Because like I just had space.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I felt like you could breathe, and like it was more like, you know, like on sometimes on those like little stages and like a bar, it's like, you know, it
Yeah.
just feels so like
It's
tight,
claustrophobic.
claustrophobic,
Yeah.
and yeah, like
Yeah, you got that big stage of like so much room for activities.
yeah, exactly,
That's right.
exactly.
Exactly.
Even though I stayed right where
Yeah. I'd share the same answer for sure. That festival was definitely the best opportunity for a show. It was the most fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. Where do you want to play?
I want to do, which you guys know this. I want to either recreate like Pink Floyd's Pompeii type thing, like so play at Pompeii,
Mhm.
or like do something to this like a similar effect at like another ancient site. Like I could say like the Pyramid of Giza, but like
Yeah,
they're never gonna let
Stonehenge or-
Stonehenge or just somewhere with a lot of history and like a lot of energy surrounding it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think
it
would
would
be a
be
lot of
awesome.
fun. Mhm.
That
Yeah,
would be awesome.
I'm on board with that. Like creating, yeah, that's a good thought. Like as opposed to picking a known venue, choosing a site for its significance, and then just putting
Yeah.
the show on there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that would be fun.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna share the same sentiment.
All right, we're gonna make it happen then.
We're gonna make
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
You heard it
all
here
three of
first.
us are on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, stranger things have happened. I've had somebody on here who talked about wanting to do a tour in Europe, and she's doing it.
Nice.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's go. Shout out.
Shout out to Madam Reaper.
Madam Reaper, all right.
Yep, man.
So check her out.
If you like synthwave stuff, she's got it like synthwave rock type of stuff.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Love it.
All right. And then last question before we get up out of here. Appreciate y'all. This is usually the hard. This is usually the hardest question. This is harder than the Mount Rushmore of rock. Whether you are in town, you go out of town, you know wherever, or if you're on tour, where is your favorite place to get food?
Listen, bro.
Hmm?
The brass mug IHOP combo after is one of the most untouchable experiences
IHOP.
ever. The venue called Brass Mug we played at. We played one of the bands we're pretty close with called the Hand of Reason. We like we play a show with them. We'll go there afterwards. We'll all just go fucking vibe out, hang out. I'll get some French toast. I got some chicken and waffles. You know what I mean? And they hook us up too, bro. The waitress is dope over there. She'll give us like extra of everything. She's super cool. Like, you know, I know it's IHOP, whatever, but like, you know, it just it smacks, man. Smacks.
Yeah, IHOP's a good answer.
Yeah.
I try not to eat fast food because it just makes me fucked up and sad. Both. Like,
Yeah.
and Publix is only really here. If we were just in Florida, I'd say Publix, but if it was somewhere else, yeah, I don't know. IHOP probably. I'll go with IHOP. I'll steal your answer on that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. IHOP is the good, consistent, like national brand that you can hit everywhere. But depending on the city, I'm a big food truck guy. Like I love local like food trucks. So like if I spot like a really dope food truck that seems to have a following, probably gonna hit them up. But like the safe answer with these guys is definitely IHOP.
If you guys ever come here, there's a food truck out here called Bennett's. It's a like super bright pink food truck. They do these egg rolls. It's like black owned business. They do
Right.
like different kind of egg rolls. So it's like Philly cheesesteak,
Man.
like Italian beef, different
Oh,
like
shit.
they have a surf and turf egg roll that is amazing. If you ever come to Champaign Urbana, they used to come to my job, and I used to love them. Like they come every Tuesday and Friday, and now they kind of like switched up because we've been a little bit slow. Now they go over to like Home Depot and different stuff in town. But yeah, like if you ever are able to come out here, like that is one place to definitely go check out. It's like $4 or $5 per egg roll, but those things like especially the surf and turf, it's thick boy.
Okay.
And you will like get full off it. It's enough filling where it's like you might be able to just eat one and then save another one for later, unless you just want to like you said, thug it out and try to. They should make it like a challenge of like, can you eat three in one go?
I can't do that. I'll throw up.
Mhm.
I won't stop. That's awesome.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna hit them.
Yeah, we'll do it.
So I hop all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's consistent.
Yep.
It's international.
Surprised no Waffle House.
You know, I never really got into Waffle
Yeah.
House.
Dude, the Waffle House is one of those spots, at least down here in Florida.
Not the best characters.
Like,
Not the best-
like if you're looking to thug it out in Florida, hit up a Waffle House at like 3 a.m. All right, like that is some wild shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, not all of them. Some of them are real quiet and chill and quaint, but like, man, some wild characters.
Yeah.
Wild characters.
Is all those 3 a.m. Waffle House fights a real thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
bro.
Someone's there to offer you a side quest too if you want to partake,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, well, we got IHOP all around. IHOP is a great answer. You can't go wrong with the good breakfast or even. I've never really had like anything else there aside from breakfast. So
I've had a burger, I think, once. Or it was a burger.
Yeah.
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 Country fried steak and eggs all day.
That's pretty egg was hard too.
I get the 2x2x2.
Fair. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Then I tell them to give me an extra pancake.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
All right, glad to have you on. If you want to let people know where they can find you.
We're on all social media, all streaming services. Our social media, our Instagram is Soul Official, but the O in official is a 0.
Soul Zero official.
Yeah, Soul Zero Official. Facebook. I think those are the only
Yeah, those are the primaries, like
Yeah.
Instagram and Facebook, and then all the streaming services.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't forget the star at the end of the name too. It's Soul Star.
Yeah, with
Remember
the
the star.
with the asterisk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, the easiest thing to do, honest to God, is just hit up the Instagram, Soul Zero Official. And then like the links in the bio, you can find us anywhere from there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody knows they can find me on Instagram at djaxxyn. That is JAXXYN period TMD, short for the Midnight Drive. Facebook, Damien Jaxxyn, spelled the same way. And catch me on Twitch during the actual show. That is D_Jaxxyn, spelled the same way, JAXXYN. Follow me on Twitch so that way I can get some people. And when I'm playing music, you can request what you want to hear. But appreciate Jordan, Bill, Gabe, all you guys being on here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us, bro.
Yeah. All right. And with that, we out. Live long and rock on.
Deuces, dog.
See ya.